Oh, whoops. Sorry. This is Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. If you don't drink Chick-fil-A Diet Lemonade, I'm just saying you're missing out. I don't always buy it by the gallon, by the way, but I frequently do. I'm so glad you're with me today. I'm back at my desk. I'm back in my standard place where when I'm in Houston, I do most of my Bible study. And I'm excited because I like a regular place to study the Bible. I typically try and do it at the same time each day. I wake up in the morning, and basically before I do almost anything else, other than like brush my teeth or something, I sit down and I try to do my Bible study, just some quiet time before the mess of the day. Sometimes it's later in the morning. This morning was one where I got up at like 3 o'clock. So I'm still chugging some lemonade here as I'm filming this for you. But we've been talking about how to study the Bible. And some of that involves the different types of material that's in the Bible. Last week we had some Turkish friends who had their family from Turkey over to visit in Houston, and they wanted to come see the library and the chapel that we've got on the grounds and a few other things like that. And it was really fascinating because from their lives, they knew next to nothing about the Bible. It's just not what they had studied. And so the stories and the ideas are brand new. Well, you can know a lot about the Bible, and it doesn't mean you've got all of the answers. So let me give you an example. Jesus taught in parables. Now, parables comes from a Greek word that's basically parable in Greek. And a parable is a story that's told with a moral or ethical or motivational purpose. It's a story that's given to help us understand something or to help us appreciate something more. So I want to look at an example of a parable. There are 3 parables in the Gospel of Luke. That's Matthew, Mark, Luke, the 3rd book in the New Testament. And the Gospel of Luke has got 3 parables in chapter 15 that are all about the same thing, something that's lost getting found. And so if we look at the very first one, it's in Luke chapter 15, and it's called the parable of the lost sheep. Now here's what it says. Now the tax collectors, boy, who likes that? And sinners. Sinners is a word that's used for all sorts of people who are just living a noticeably morally degraded life. They would gunk together there all sorts of different sins, but often the prostitutes and others like that. Tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to hear Jesus. And the Pharisees and the scribes. Now you may be saying, I don't even know what a Pharisee and a scribe is. That's okay. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow about tools to help you know what those things are. The Pharisees and the scribes grumbled, saying, what kind of guy is Jesus? Jesus receives sinners and eats with them. That was a big deal. They didn't think you ought to be eating with sinners. Jesus says in response to that, a story. Jesus says, which one of you, if you had 100 sheep and you lost one, which one of you doesn't leave the 99? Get it up there. Doesn't leave the 99 in the open country and go after the one that's lost until he finds it. And when he finds it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. He comes home. He calls his friends, his neighbors. He says, rejoice with me. I found my sheep that was lost. And then Jesus says, just so I tell you, there'll be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than 99 persons who don't need to. Jesus was explaining to the people that he ate with sinners because that's who he came to seek. Jesus came to seek and save the lost, not to pat on the back the good. And so as Jesus comes to seek and to save the lost, what difference does that make in my life? All the difference in the world. Because I know God's interested in me, and I know God's interested in you. And He'll leave where He is to come find you. And when you come home to Him, and when I come home to Him, He rejoices. He knows how much we need Him, and He doesn't scold us for it. He seeks us so that He can be there for us. It's a beautiful passage, and it's your video thought for the day.